Shall go?
Yes, may start.
So, this yoga system, Bhakti Yoga, how to increase attachment for Kṛṣṇa is being taught by our Kṛṣṇa consciousness movement. Maya Saptamana Prartha Juvang Junyan Madasra. In this connection, one has to learn this yogic system from Kṛṣṇa directly or from his representative. That is the meaning of Madasra. One must take shelter either. So at the present moment it is not possible to take shelter of Kṛṣṇa directly, therefore one has to take shelter of his bona fide representative, and there are four parties or sampradaya who are Vaishnavas: the Brahma Sampradaya, Rudra Sampradaya, Sri Sampradaya and Kumar Sampradaya. So one has to take shelter of either of these sampradaya, disciplic succession, and then learn the Bhakti Yoga system from him. Then he will understand, or he will see God. Seeing God is not exactly seeing with the eyes. God's another name is Anubhav, realization, revelation, realization. So that is wanted. That revelation is made by Kṛṣṇa himself to the bona fide devotee. Sevanmukhi hi jibhado sameva spurattada. Kṛṣṇa, God reveals himself. Just like you cannot see the sun in the darkness of night. Sun is there in the sky, but somehow or other, when your planet is on the other side and it is darkness, you cannot see the sun. Not that the sun is not there, but you cannot see. Similarly, Kṛṣṇa is always present before us, but we cannot see him. Just like Kṛṣṇa, when was personally present, there are so many hundreds and millions of men on the surface of the globe. Only few could see him, that he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So even God, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Kṛṣṇa comes before somebody. It is not possible to see him. The seeing process is different. Premanjana churita bhakti vilochanena. One can see when the eyes are anointed with the ointment of bhakti. When the eyes are cleansed to see God. That is revelation. It is said that a pure devotee is seeing Kṛṣṇa every moment. Shanta sadaiva. Sadaiva means every moment. He is seeing. But that means he is a different person. His senses are purified, electrified, sanctified. That's what he is seeing. And one's eyes, if not sanctified, purified, he cannot see. There are so many examples. That's like a machine. A child is seeing, but he cannot see properly. He sees a lump of matter. But an engineer, when he sees, he immediately understands that this machine is made by such and such, it is working for this, a good machine, bad machine, nice. He can see in different way because he has got the eyes to see. Similarly, to understand Kṛṣṇa, God, we require to purify our senses. That is defined by Narad Pancharatra. Sarvapādhi vinirmuktam, being freed from all kinds of designation. Just like we are seeing Kṛṣṇa consciousness, accepting Kṛṣṇa consciousness in a vision, and somebody else, ordinary man, suppose somebody is in Christian, he sees Kṛṣṇa consciousness as a movement of the Hindus. But actually it is not. Therefore, he has to become free from the designation of becoming an American. Sarvapādhi vinirmuktam. One should be free from the designation. Like this body is a designation. Actually, there is no difference between American body and Indian body. The same physiological construction. There is blood, there is flesh, there is bone. If you see within the body, there is no difference. But still, we have designated, I am American, you are Indian, you are black, I am white, I am this and that. These are all designations. False. So one has to become free from the designation. That is defined. So when we are freed from the designation, sarvapādhi vinirmuktam, one should be freed from the designation. Actually, designation has no value. The person is important, not the designation. So, to see Kṛṣṇa means first business is to become free from the designation. Sarvapādhi vinirmuktam. Tatparatena nirmalam. Here it is said matpara, and Narad says tatpara. Tatpara means to become Kṛṣṇaized. And matpara means, Kṛṣṇa says, you become matpara. Intensely absorbed in me. And the devotee says, intensely absorbed in Kṛṣṇa. That is it. But actually the aim is the same. So one has to become designated free and intensely in Kṛṣṇa. Sarvapādhi vinirmuktam matparatsana. Then he will be nirmal. Nirmal means purified, without any material contamination. I am thinking in terms of my bodily concept of life, that is material, because the body is material. So long I am thinking I am American, I am Indian, I am Brahmin, I am Kshatriya, I am this, I am that, they are all designations. That is not nirmalam, purified condition. Purified condition is when one understands that I am spirit soul, Kṛṣṇa is the supreme spirit soul, and I am part and parcel of Kṛṣṇa. We are one in quality. We may be different as individual. Kṛṣṇa is big individual. I am a small individual. Just like in this material world also, one man is very powerful, another man is less powerful, but both of them are men. They are not animals. Similarly, Kṛṣṇa, God, is qualitatively one with me. Quantitatively, He is very, very powerful. His creative power, He has got creative power. I have got also creative power. I can at most create a big aeroplane flying in the sky, but He has created big planets floating in the sky. He has made such a nice arrangement that it is floating. And we have to float millions times less important than the planet, suppose a Sputnik, with so many machines. That is the difference between His power and our power. Kṛṣṇa there. But the quantity of creative power is different from Kṛṣṇa. My quantitative power of creation. We are part and parcel of Kṛṣṇa. So although the quality is the same, but the quantity different. At the present moment, our difficulties are that although we are part and parcel of God, we are now separate. Every one of us is trying to become a separate God. That is called materialism. Everyone is struggling. The materialistic theory is struggle for existence, survival of the fittest. The Mayavad theory, that you go on struggling, and if you come to the fittest position, then you survive. But actually, nobody is fit in this material. Nobody will survive. Everyone will be vanquished. Beginning from Brahma down to the end, nobody will survive. That is stated in the Srimad Bhagavad Gita, that Abrahma bhuvanalokan punaravartino Arjuna. Even if you go to the topmost planetary system, which is called Brahmaloka, still you have to be under the stringent laws of material nature, namely birth, death, old age and disease. You cannot avoid. So we remain insignificant in any condition of life. Either as a Brahma, the duration of life of Brahma is described that we cannot calculate even. Even if you get such position, still you cannot avoid death. That is not possible. You cannot avoid old age. You cannot avoid disease. But if our real problem is there, that every one of us, nobody wants to become old, nobody wants to become diseased, nobody wants to meet death, nobody wants to take birth. Of course, in the modern civilization, they take birth and they take death, but they do not believe that there is next birth. If there is not next birth, then wherefrom this birth takes place? So this is a subject matter to be dealt with separately. Now, the thing is that we by comparison we can see that I am a human being, I have got my position, another man is there, he has got his position, individual position, he may be greater than me, maybe, actually we see both ways, somebody is greater than me, somebody is lesser than me, less important. In any position we can see that somebody is less important than me and somebody is more important than me. I am in the via media, in any position. Nobody can say I am the ultimate. Nobody is greater than me. That is not possible. That position is God's, Kṛṣṇa's position. Nobody is greater than him. Therefore, our problem of life can be solved only by dovetailing ourselves with Kṛṣṇa. That is called Bhakti Yoga. Dovetailing. The example can be given just like one man is going on a motor car at 60 miles speed and another man is going on cycle 10 miles speed. The 10 miles speed cycle cannot become one with the 60 miles speed. That is not possible. But if the 10 miles speed man on the cycle catches the motor car which is running at 60 miles, then he also gets 60 miles. That is called dovetailing. So, if we want to be perfect, full freedom and full creative power, everything in fullness, then we must join with the Supreme Full, complete, whole. Just like a very rich man, the servants in the house of a rich man, they are also rich men. But they are also eating in the same way. They are eating in the same palace. This is a crude example. So there is a spiritual world where Kṛṣṇa is there. Kṛṣṇa is everywhere. But here, there, he is personally there. Here in this material world, Kṛṣṇa is present by his energy. Just like the president of your country, he is in his White House, but at the same time he is present everywhere. His energy, his power is there. Nobody can deny it. Everywhere the picture of Mr. Nixon is there, and everyone is conscious that our ruler or chief man is Mr. Nixon. Similarly, Kṛṣṇa is also everywhere by his power, but still he has got his own abode. So every one of us can go back to him in his abode both ways. Here also, in this material world, if we remain in Kṛṣṇa's service, then we are protected under Kṛṣṇa's special energy. So anyone who is in Kṛṣṇa consciousness, he lives with Kṛṣṇa. That is the government man. Anywhere he goes. Sometimes they go out of the country, embassies, the ambassadors. In India, there is Mr. Kitty, ambassador of your country.
Like 1 minute left.
So, he is always in his own abode, any ambassador. So,
So we can do another 10-minute tomorrow?
Number 2. Put them in place right away. The cameras roll. No.
No,
Put them in place.
just one behind Prabhupada. I'm the only one.
Do this quickly, please.
Sudeshwara?
Yes.
Only one.
Jack, that's fine. You may begin, Prabhupada.
So, I shall speak on Bhagavad Gita as it is. The purpose of saying Bhagavad Gita as it is explained that there are many editions of Bhagavad Gita. They are interpreted in their own way, giving up the spirit of Bhagavad Gita. So this particular name, as it is, significant. Perhaps there is no other edition of Bhagavad Gita where it is written as it is. In this connection, Professor Dimmock of Chicago University has written a foreword, and he very much appreciates the theme. He says, Swami Bhaktivedanta comments upon the Gita from this point of view, and that is legitimate. She accepts that Bhagavad Gita as it is legitimate presentation of the great book of knowledge. And he also says, more than that, in this translation, the Western reader has the unique opportunity of seeing how a Kṛṣṇa devotee interprets his own text. So, about Kṛṣṇa, the devotees actually can interpret about Kṛṣṇa book. Others, if they are not devotee, how they can interpret on Kṛṣṇa? Just like a member of a family can say very nicely about the head of the family, how outsiders can say about the family. That is not possible. Similarly, about Kṛṣṇa, a Kṛṣṇa devotee can speak nicely, not others. Others have no right to speak about Kṛṣṇa. And Kṛṣṇa also admits Arjuna as the right student of Bhagavad Gita. In the beginning, Kṛṣṇa says that I have selected you as my student because you are my friend and you are my devotee. So, in other words, we can understand that Bhagavad Gita can be understood who has intimate relationship with Kṛṣṇa. Just as Kṛṣṇa says, you are my dear friend. That is intimate relationship with Kṛṣṇa. And without becoming a devotee, nobody can be intimately related with Kṛṣṇa. These are the factors to be understood. So, this Bhagavad Gita was spoken 5,000 years ago to Arjuna in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, and the science of understanding God is there in this Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is the science of God. Everything has got some science, scientific book to understand that particular subject matter. Similarly, there are different types of concept of God. Generally, they take it as an idea, but we don't take it as idea. We take God as concrete fact. Just like you are seeing me, I am seeing you. This is concrete fact. Similarly, a God can be seen by you, and God is already seeing you. There is no doubt about it. But you can see also God. So that process we have to understand, how to see God. That process is mentioned in all the Vedic scripture. That is called bhakti yoga, that process. Kṛṣṇa also says in the Bhagavad Gita, bhaktya mam abhijanati javan jasyami tatat. If anyone wants to know Kṛṣṇa, what he is, then one has to accept the process of bhakti yoga. There are different types of yogas. Yoga means linking oneself with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, speculative yoga will not help us. You have to take concrete yoga. Concrete yoga is Kṛṣṇa consciousness. So, we have given our introduction of the Bhagavad Gita that one has to understand Bhagavad Gita as it is directed in the Bhagavad Gita. There is direction. How to read Bhagavad Gita. People are reading Bhagavad Gita without taking the direction. This we have explained in the manner that if you take some medicine, there is some direction on the bottle, that this is the dose. You take so many drops, so many times, that is direction. Similarly, for understanding Bhagavad Gita actually, you have to accept the direction as given by the author himself, Kṛṣṇa. He says that long ago, some 40 millions of years ago, he first spoke this Bhagavad Gita to the sun god. And sun god transmitted the knowledge to his son Manu. And Manu transmitted the knowledge to his son Ikhaku. Imam vivassati yogam prattavan aham abhayam. Vivashan manave praha manu Ikhaka vibravit. So, the Rajarshis, they are all kings. Manu is king, Maharaj Ikhaku is also king, and the sun god Vivashan, he is also king. He is the king of the sun planet, and his grandson Ikhaku became the king of this planet, Maharaj Ikhaku, and in this dynasty, which is known as Raghuvansha, Lord Ramchandra appeared. It is a very old monarchical family, Ikhaku Vangsha, Raghu Vangsha. Vangsha means family. So formally the kings, the head of the administrative executive, they used to learn the thesis or the injunction given by God, because a king is no, you cannot do like that. Now I conclude here, that's all.
So we should just change over. We can change those, we can pick up right there from Prabhupada, PA 8-72. Right, Prabhupada.
So, according to Bhagavad Gita, only a devotee of Kṛṣṇa, a person who is intimately related with Kṛṣṇa, he can understand what is Bhagavad Gita. So, Kṛṣṇa Arjuna, after hearing Bhagavad Gita from Kṛṣṇa, he addressed him as Parabrahma, Param Dhama, Pavitram, Paramam Bhavan, Purusham, Shasatam, Divyam, Adi, Devam, Ajam, Vivam. He understood Kṛṣṇa as Parabrahma. Parabrahma means the supreme truth, absolute truth, Parabrahma. Brahma, the living entities, they are also called Brahma. But living entities are not Parabrahma. Parabrahma means supreme. So Arjuna addressed him as Parabrahma and Paramdhama. Paramdhama means the resting place of everything. Everything is resting on the energy of the Supreme Lord. Therefore he is called Paramdhama. Just like all these planets are resting on the sunshine, sunshine is the energy of the sun globe. Similarly, this material energy is Kṛṣṇa's energy. And everything is material or spiritual, everything is resting on Kṛṣṇa's energy. The resting place is Kṛṣṇa's energy. In another place, Kṛṣṇa says, Maya tatamidam sarvam jagat abbhakta murtina masthani sarvabhutani naham teshu avasthita. Kṛṣṇa says that in my impersonal feature I am spread everywhere, all pervading. God is all pervading by his impersonal feature, namely his energy. The example is given just like heat is the energy of fire. So fire spreads by its heat and light. The fire is one place, but the heat and light is spreading. Similarly, Kṛṣṇa is in his own abode, which is called Goloka Vrindavan. There is a planet in the spiritual world, the topmost planet. As the topmost planet within this universe is called Brahmaloka, similarly in the spiritual sky there is the topmost planet which is called Goloka Vrindavan. That is Kṛṣṇa's place. Kṛṣṇa is there, but he can expand himself by his different types of energies and by his different types of incarnation. It does not mean that when Kṛṣṇa was present on this planet, Kṛṣṇa was absent in Golok Vrindavan. No, it is not like that. Just like I am now present here, I am absent in my apartment. Kṛṣṇa is not like that. Kṛṣṇa can be present everywhere, at the same time he can remain in his own abode. That is described in the Brahma Samhita. Goloka eva nivasati akhilatma bhuta. Although he is in his abode, which is known as Goloka Vrindavan, he can expand himself everywhere, and actually he has done it. So we must know how he is expanded, in which way he is in contact with us. That is the science. In Bhagavad Gita these things are explained. So Kṛṣṇa is addressed as Param Dham, the resting place of everything. Everything is resting. Kṛṣṇa also says, Masthani sarvabhutani, everything, material manifestation, is resting on him. Nahang teshu avasthita, but I am not there. These contradictory things. Everything is resting on him, but I am not there. But it is not contradictory. It is very simple to understand. Just like all the planets, they are resting on sun sign, but the sun is far away from the planets, some millions of miles away. But resting on the sun sign means resting on the sun. That's a fact. Therefore Kṛṣṇa says, Masthani sarvabhutani nahang teshu avasthita parabrahma param dhama pavitram. Pavitra means uncontaminated. When we come to this material world, we are also spirit soul, Brahma, not exactly as good as Parabrahma, Kṛṣṇa, but still, because we are part and parcel of Kṛṣṇa, we are also Brahma, Pavitra. Pavitra means pure. Just like the particle of gold is also gold. If gold is pure, the particle is also pure. So, Kṛṣṇa comes to this world. We also come to this world. But we are contaminated. But Kṛṣṇa is not contaminated. The example is, just like in the prison house, there are many prisoners, but if the king or some king's representative minister goes into the prison to inspect things, how things are going on, it does not mean that the king or his minister is also a prisoner. He is not prisoner. But we, living entities, we have been entangled with these material modes of nature. But Kṛṣṇa never becomes involved in these modes of material nature. that's what he's called Pavitram Paramam. Absolute, pure. Bhavan. Bhavan means you, your Lordship. And Purusham. Purusham, he is addressed as a person. God is never impersonal. God is person. Exactly a person like you and me. And when he appeared on this planet, exactly like a human being, 2 hands, 2 legs, walking like human being, talking, behaving like human being, everything. So, God is Purusha. Purusha means man, I mean to say male, not female. Male. Without becoming male, one cannot be enjoyer. In another place, it is stated that Kṛṣṇa is the supreme enjoyer. As soon as the word is used, enjoyer, he must be Purusha, male. So that is described. Arjuna understood him. He is a Purusha, Param Purusha, the supreme person. In another place, Kṛṣṇa is described as Purushottam, the best of the males. So, Purusham Shasatam. Shasatam means eternal. The Mayavadi philosopher, they think that the absolute truth is impersonal. Begin.
All right, Grace. You may begin.
Maya Shakta Manaprartha Jogam Junyan Madasraya Asangsayang Samagrang Mam Jatha Gyasasi Tachino. Arjuna is being advised by Kṛṣṇa what is God. The conception of God, however we may speculate, it cannot be perfect because God is unlimited, all-pervading. We are limited. So, actually, unless God Himself reveals Himself to the devotee, it is not possible to understand what is God. Therefore, God Himself, Kṛṣṇa, is speaking about Himself. The process is Maya Sakta Mana. One has to increase attachment for Kṛṣṇa. We have got now attachment for material things. We have to divert that. Our position is that we must have attachment for something. That is fact. So now, on the bodily concept of life, we have got attachment to this body, and anything pertaining to this body, we have got attachment. Just like I have got attachment for my wife. Why? There are millions and thousands of women, beautiful women. I have no attachment for them, but my attachment for my wife, even though she may not be very beautiful, is a fact. Why? Because due to her relation with my body. And similarly, I have got attachment for my country, I have got attachment for my home, my so many things, because I am thinking I am this body, and anything in connection with this body, I am thinking mind. So at the present, my conception of I and mine is wrong. Therefore, if we divert that attachment to Kṛṣṇa, then we can understand Kṛṣṇa or God perfectly well. Kṛṣṇa is just like sun. When there is sunshine, you can see the sun and yourself also. Without sunshine, in the darkness of night, neither you can see the sun nor yourself. Therefore the process is maya saktamana, developing Kṛṣṇa consciousness. Maya saktamana partham yogam junyan madasaya. This is the yoga. Yoga means connect. Yogam junyan, that yoga should be practiced in connection with Kṛṣṇa. Therefore he said, mat asra. Mat means me or mine. And asra means taking shelter. So either you take shelter of Kṛṣṇa or Kṛṣṇa's representative. Of course, it is not possible for us to take shelter of Kṛṣṇa, because Kṛṣṇa is not present at the present moment, but his representative is there. So one has to take shelter of his representative and practice bhakti yoga, concentrating his mind on Kṛṣṇa. This is called Kṛṣṇa consciousness. One has to take shelter of a person whose life is devoted to Kṛṣṇa, and under his direction we have to practice how to develop Kṛṣṇa consciousness, and then Kṛṣṇa will be revealed. The revelation, proportionate revelation, is proportionate advancement in seeing Kṛṣṇa directly.